I'll give you an
Yeah, it
example.
shouldn't be race-based. The fuck?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is catching a lot of heat, justifiably, for wanting to do away with or limit certain advanced placement classes due to the race-based curriculum it offers.
Yeah, that shouldn't be race-based. Who is offering Jim Crow in 2023? Is affirmative action legal? Or is, I don't know, are you allowed to do that in a business? Say, no, we're not gonna have black people in this, no, but you're allowed to say we can't have white people in this honors program, whatever the fuck they're doing here, which is why Ron DeSantis would have a problem with that. I mean, I would have a problem with being told, no, you're white, so you can't be in this. That is wrong. That is wrong, no matter what the race is. And just like Tucker Carlson would say, no. Like, you don't even have to play the game of, well, if you were to talk about this, if you were to talk that way of any other group, like, it'd be shut down immediately. No, it doesn't matter because it's always wrong, no matter what the skin color is. You don't even have to play that game.
Now, to be sure, again, he deserves the criticism. But so do education officials who want to eliminate high school honors classes for a similar reason, but from a different perspective. Again, having to do with race.
Yeah, just don't remove them and desegregate them. It's all like schools, like, oh, schools were segregated, so let's just remove public school entirely. Yeah, that's sort of stupid, but just desegregate it, remove affirmative action.
I'll give you an example. The Culver City School District in Southern California is now considering essentially doing away with honors classes because they feel that those classes do not have enough diversity in its enrollment, okay? Now let me just say this. When it comes to honors classes, students decide whether they want to enroll in said classes, okay? This is not a situation in which school administrators handpick white students and ignore everyone else. Again, the students get to enroll should they want to challenge themselves with these honors classes.
Okay, that's a good point.
Since the start of the school year, freshmen and sophomores in Culver City, again, Culver City, California, have only been able to select one level of English class.
Sounds like soul food.
Known as college
Dude, I'm not funny.
prep, rather than the previous system in which anyone could opt into the.
Wait, so what are they doing? English class. Imagine being so stupid that you even offer an English class in high school. Yeah, as if smart people wouldn't know how to speak their own fucking language by then. That's retarded.
Honors class. The school officials say that the goal is to teach everyone with an equal level of rigor, which I'm not.
Teach every fucking retard how to speak English. Except they aren't retards, they're people in honors class. Well, to be fair, I went in honors class. A lot of them were pretty stupid. Like, there's a difference between honors and gifted. But yeah.
Not buying it all.
That doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Their argument is,
yeah, what the
no. We want, instead of offering honors classes for students who might find the regular curriculum incredibly boring and unchallenging, by the way, as I did when I was in high school, we're gonna do away with the honors classes that they would have been able to enroll in and instead make the main curriculum rigorous and challenging, except we know that's not gonna happen. We know that's not gonna happen. Some students need extra help. Some students do, unfortunately, slow down, the pace of the class. It is what it is. You have people at different levels within
It is what it is. Dude, in English class, that shouldn't really be the case. Like, most people should know how to speak English if they're fucking smart. And they're, like, fuck,
same
dude.
classroom all the time. So doing away with options is ridiculous. I think it's incredibly stupid if you're not seeing enough diversity in the
what did Ron DeSantis do? What does he have to do with this?
honors classes. Then how about encouraging some of the students, whether they be black students, brown students, what have you, to do it?
Yeah,
give them the motivation. Yeah. Tell them that they're up for the challenge.
Yeah, look, guys, we're stuck in the middle of a culture war, and we're the collateral damage.
It's insane.
Dude, to be fair, you are the culture war. Dude, you are the culture war. Look at your Twitter feed. like end of story period.
Oh, the whole
You are the
country.
coach one.
So, as Anna pointed out, in Florida, DeSantis said, "Well, I don't want the African American Studies AP class because it teaches too much about racism."
Wait, did you say Anna said? Wait, who said that?
Oh, the whole country. So, as Anna pointed out, in Florida, DeSantis said, "Well, I don't want the African American Studies AP class."
I mean, to be fair, yeah, if it's gonna be taught in college, as long as it's not an elective, which those are sort of forced on you. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, get rid of, like in high school, at least you shouldn't be forced to learn about, that shit like critical race theory. Now, to be fair, I don't know what, like, I have never read critical race theory because I'm a lazy retard who isn't interested in all that shit, but yeah, I've heard Dan Bongino talk about it. I've heard Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report talk about it. I've heard Secular talk about it. Of course, yeah, Tucker Carlson and Dan Bongino, they're gonna approach it from a completely different angle than Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report. But what I'm sort of getting from that is that critical race theory teaches you that America is systemically racist, or like structurally fucking racist. And it's like, dude, let's just do a little thought experiment. So let's just say, yeah, America is just so racist. By the way, I think it's fair to point out, how often do you hear any mainstream media go out and just accuse all black people of, say, being pedophiles? How often do you hear that happen on Fox News, the Daily Wire? No. That's only about trans people, so that's a community that's actually marginalized. But, yeah, black people, let's just do a little thought experiment real quick. Of course, I'm just kidding, but let's just go ahead and desegregate America. I mean, let's segregate America again. Let's allow McDonald's, for example, to fire all black people. How quickly do you think they would lose all of their credibility? How, like, people would boycott them? They would just go bankrupt probably overnight. They would lose everything they have probably overnight because that is no longer socially accepted. Racism is no longer socially accepted. Now, the reason why like, I will completely grant, yeah, black people, maybe they're poor on average. Now we have a meritocracy system that you can take advantage of, but like, yeah, the reason why people on average might, the reason why there might still be sort of this whole culture war thing going on is that the only disparity is in terms of poverty. Now, poverty does come with some, like, some fucking, what's it called? Yeah, it does come with some type of culture. The culture of might makes right sometimes, and I think that's where a lot of people start being like black people are criminals. But actually, like if you think about it, yeah, like this whole thing, yes, America's structurally racist. No, the reason why black people are poorer on average is because segregation was just 2 generations ago, and like the accumulation of, I mean, the redistribution of wealth throughout the generation through inheritance is way slower than, say, the pace at which society is improving in terms of becoming more tolerant of differences such as being black. And yeah, like when you've only had 2 generations, if your grandparents were not allowed to participate in the meritocracy system that would have allowed them to climb up the ranks, of course you're going to have black people today being on average poorer, and poverty tends to come with a whole culture to it, the might makes right mindset, because when you have just socialism for the rich, anarchy for the poor, that's sort of what happens in a system like ours, the United States, which is, well, capitalist. Of course I'm for capitalism, but that's sort of what it brings when people who are on the top don't actually use their money for any good purposes, and it's pretty obvious why they do it. I mean, the middle class just sort of showed themselves to be entitled freaks by constantly demanding their fair share of someone else's money, and why would that person want to in turn give them that money for some good. Now, if I was Bill Gates, I would house all the homeless. I would make sure to do that. But then, like, homeless people don't even really have a voice. It's not like he can really hear them out. And the only people he can hear, the middle class, are the entitled freaks who are constantly demanding their fair share of someone else's money, acting entitled to the first class's money when they don't give any money to the third class. They don't house the homeless, the third class that actually need them. So, yeah, I'm going on a tangent here.
Teaches too much about racism. What did you think it was going to teach about? He's like, I don't want that history, right?
I don't want that option for students.
Yeah, but then he said he threatened all.
Why would anyone even want that fucking option, to be honest?
All of the AP classes. And so, and by the way, AP panicked then and starts saying, "Okay,
yeah, like, I'm sorry, but like, by the way, the reason why conservatives get so mad over shit like that, just accusing America of just being racist. Now this is a thing with pretty much everybody, but conservatives, they also have their implicit biases on just like how far they can extend their human empathy to different people. And most people, I mean, I'd hear in class. Now, when I was in class, funny enough, this is Louisiana, and a lot of people were Democrats. Like, Democrats or Republicans, normally, like, I remember they would hear about, okay, today in CNN's 2 News, there was this catastrophe that happened, like, I don't know, some shooting or whatever in, like, Australia, New Zealand, like, 31 people died. Hey, by the way, 2 people died and 1 person got injured, except there was, like, I don't know, like, 2 cities across from us. Everybody would care so much more, Republican or Democrat, about the one that happened, like, right next to us. Thing is, Republicans tend to be able to recognize their own biases, except they try to justify it instead of rectifying it, instead of, like, correcting it. And their human empathy tends to be able to stretch up to the national level, up to our borders. Americans, they are the people who they can empathize with, and the biggest thing we have as human beings is empathy. Our biggest achievements have come from collaboration. That's the human species' biggest strength. Like, speaking on large scales, is collaboration. So we need empathy for that. And the thing is, most people are good people. And most people can recognize that other people around them, most of them are good people. And when you accuse a whole country, when you accuse everyone that, like, one political party can just actually empathize with, of just being horrible people who just are hateful, of course they're gonna take offense to that. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't they?
Okay, we're gonna take certain things out of the curriculum. We won't teach racism as much. It's disgusting, right?
Disgusting, dude. I just love how you just have that buzzword and you just keep using it. I wonder if people are making fun of you for that. Dumb down the kids. To be fair, I'm surprised you haven't made a spelling mistake.
So
it's like one of the only people who support.
There is an actual history, and you have to actually teach the history, not the version that you want, where your side is amazing.
There is no reason to teach history. If we want to learn from our mistakes, maybe we should look at the actual mistakes that we made, or maybe we should just completely get away from trying to learn from our mistakes and use our critical thinking skills, because the past will never repeat in the exact same way. Okay, so firstly, I think it's completely ridiculous to try to replace our actual critical thinking skills. Okay, well, what do you think the outcome of this decision is going to be? Instead of trying to memorize all the past so that, like, we could just rely on, oh, well, let's just hope that such a situation has happened in the past, so that we could be like, oh, well, I don't know, what's the outcome of this gonna be? Has this happened before? Something like that? Oh, well, what could we tell based on that? Yeah, well, let's just hope something like that happened, because otherwise, well, fuck, I don't know. No, your critical thinking skills can fix all of that. Doesn't matter if it happened, doesn't matter if it happened in the same way. The thing is, history is going to be skewed. The things will never happen in the same way. And imagine, like, let's just take the lesson from the Holocaust. Firstly, the Holocaust never needed to happen for us to be able to deduce that gassing Jews is bad. And if it did, if we really need to learn about what Hitler did to intuitively understand that gassing Jews is wrong, I mean, there's something wrong with us, clearly. Clearly, history isn't the way to move forward to replace our critical thinking skills with, like, let's just memorize this and, like, so, but the thing is, it's not even like you can draw parallels from the past, because I've been in history class. I was forced to go there up to high school, and I graduated high school, and everything you'd learn over there would just be everything that would relate things back to the past. We'd learn about the dates of certain things. Where did it happen? What was the date? What was the name of the treaty? What was the event called? What were the specific circumstances and conditions of what happened back then? Everything that had linked it back to back then. So, like, I don't know, like, is this thing bad? Oh, well, that's not, yeah, like, what's happening right now, it's sort of like this thing. Well, what do I know about this thing? Like, what did I learn about, like, this thing? Oh, it happened back then. Oh, this is happening now, so that's different. Oh, it happened over there. Oh, this is happening here, so that's different. Oh, it was called this. Oh, that's different. Oh, like, such and such people who were involved, oh, they're dead now. Oh, what else do I know? Oh, I wasn't taught anything else. Oh, that's great. So what lines, what parallels are you gonna draw from history? Everything that you learn in there is just, like, about the specifics that would draw it back to the past. So when all you learn is dates and the names of events and you learn to memorize these things, no, that's not gonna help you. I remember, again, when I was in 11th grade and, like, we were watching a Holocaust movie, and like, one of the kids was like, holy shit, bro, they was so stupid back, like, they voted for this guy. Wow, dumbasses. And the teacher was like, yeah, bro, fuck, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they must be really fucking dumb. Like, good thing we're not stupid like them now. Like, okay, great fucking lesson to pull from the Holocaust. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid like them back then. Like, great fucking lesson. Yeah, maybe we should stop teaching history and just use our own critical thinking skills to move forward. Because if you assume, oh well, the Holocaust, well, if it happens again, like, at least we'll know. Nobody who is smart enough to be able to overturn a democracy, which is, by definition, the people's will, the government that represents the people's will, no person would be, like, if they were smart enough to be able to overturn a democracy and turn it into a dictatorship, they obviously would be too smart to just not make sure, oh yeah, if I'm trying to do that, and, like, this already happened and everyone is trying to learn, okay, let's just learn from that so we make sure not to repeat our mistakes. Yeah, they aren't going to do it in the exact same way, because that'd just be stupid. No one who's stupid enough to allow for, like, just a bunch of trigger warnings to pop up. Hey, look at what he's doing. They know if they're trying to do the same stuff, and they know that it's going to get on everyone's radars if they do it in the same way, they're going to try to do everything in as much of a different way as possible. If they were smart enough to be able to even pull off such a thing as overturning a democracy, they'd be smart enough to think about that, wouldn't they?
And did nothing wrong. And what the hell's your side anyway, right? Aren't we all supposed to be Americans that look back at our past and go, oh, those were things that were.
Doesn't matter if we're Americans, if we're human beings. It is wrong to deduce people to where they were born, just like it's wrong to deduce people to where their ancestors were born, such as in Africa for black people. Like, what does it matter whether you were born here or whether your ancestors were born in Europe versus Africa? Like, that's not very different.
Bad. Now we're making them better, right? Altogether. So the right wing is saying, no, let's obliterate these AP classes, and no one's allowed to take.
The right wing? Okay, buddy. That escalated really far. That went from, Wait, weren't you saying that the left wing was doing that because there wasn't enough diversity in it? And now it's yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to take away your AP classes. No, I'm not doing that. But wait, let me get another vape. Yeah, dude. I don't want to take your AP classes away from you. Okay, just so we're
Take
clear.
them because I actually teach things that are true. Now you go to the left wing. Yeah, come on, guys,
Dude,
get real. It's the left wing.
That's fucking hilarious. Did Cenk just say that what he teaches people is true? I don't know if I'm just drunk or if he actually said that. It's pretty
Right?
funny.
All together. So the right wing is saying, no, let's obliterate these AP classes and no one's allowed to take them because I actually teach things that are true. Now you go to the left wing. Yeah, come on, guys, get real. It's the left wing.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't care if critical race theory or whatever, if it's true. Like, I've heard apparently it teaches about how segregation went ahead and like how its effects rippled into, and like definitely segregation is the reason why today there's a difference in how dude, I'm just fucking brain farting. Yeah, in how rich white versus black people are on average. But like what are you gonna do about it? Reverse time? Like what do you wanna do? Like again, like so many people are like, well, you know what, America's racist because back then that happened. Well, guess what? No matter what you do, in 200 years, segregation will just be 200 years older. So, like, it doesn't really matter what you do. If you're gonna teach that the basis of America being racist is that it has a racist past and therefore it is intrinsically racist because, like, you can't really like imagine if someone back in the day they used to be racist, like I don't know, this guy, apparently there was some governor or whatever, like, and you found him in his high school yearbook picture, he was wearing a KKK suit, and it's like, bro, he was racist then, do you think he's racist now? And it's like, America, that's different. The people back then aren't alive today. It's like, maybe America was racist, but if you're going to be like, oh well, we need this racism to go away, and the reason why, like, basically the source of this racism is the fact that it has happened within our past. Well, Ron DeSantis is just trying to do your job for you. He's trying to take away this racism by removing it from our past. Like, that sort of sounds like what you, Cenk, would be advocating for. Do you want this racism removed? Would you agree that this racism, it's the product of the fact that America has a racist past? Well, the only way to remove that racist past would be to erase it. So, DeSantis is just taking your premise as logical conclusions. If you didn't want that, maybe you shouldn't have told him to do that.
Here in California,
Yes.
Culver City's in California, right? And look at this absurdity, equal level of rigor. Well, that's nonsensical. Let's say that it's math. There's algebra and there's calculus. Calculus is a lot more advanced than algebra is. So how do you teach it with an equal level of rigor? I mean,
Yeah, I took Calculus 2 in high school. It was Calculus 1. I actually took Calculus 1 on Brilliant.org. It's a very, very great place to learn. But yeah, I'm in Louisiana. None of this insane bullshit is happening over here. I actually took linear algebra in high school as well, but I was dual enrolling. Like I was taking it as a college level course. Yeah, I think that's fucking stupid to take any courses away, except for English and history. Yeah, take those away because that is useless. I think we need to diverge away from useless classes in school. If people are going to complain so much about, oh, college isn't free, which actually college is free, you just have to earn it. It's called TOPS. Look it up. If you have high enough grades and you live in the United States, yeah, you will get free college. It will be paid for you. You just have to earn it. unlike in like some place like they just want communism basically. It doesn't matter if you're in it, you just get free college. To which I would say, dude, how about instead we give people the concept of a second chance, which I'm sure Republicans would be all for that. That's actually what the Bible preaches. A lot of them worship the Bible. Yeah, second chances. So instead of telling people, hey, well, you know what, you haven't tried up to high school and that's why you don't have free college, but that's wrong. You deserve free college. Like that, you're just going to get to keep not trying and keep not earning that because what are you just going to start trying now that you're in college? Why would you? Yeah, you're just going to be out on the streets 4 years later because you're going to have failed college just like you failed high school 4 years later. And yeah, you failed high school. I mean, you probably did since you didn't already have free college. I mean, why else wouldn't you have free college if you live in the United States? See, I think this whole thing with them trying to, like, they try to say a good thing. Yeah, let's cut the military spending, which, yeah, I think most Americans agree, save lives instead of take lives. Yeah, like, what is the U.S. military? Well, it's basically us funding a hypothetical foreign threat from a foreign country, you know, a very hypothetical foreign country, say that might want to go to war with the world's biggest nuclear arsenal, aka the United States. When there are actual, real, concrete domestic threats here on the ground, such as not having free healthcare. Well, how's that for your meritocracy? You could just go financially bankrupt overnight due to being unfortunate because American healthcare is just not really affordable for the middle class. How does that work exactly? And it's like, yeah, that's pretty fair. But back on, yeah, like they're just trying to move that money into just, oh yeah, let's just replace the current meritocracy system, merit-based system of education that we have. Let's just replace it with a communist system. Yeah, if you believe in second chances, I think what you should do is say, yeah, after you've like left high school, like with a 4 to 5 year cooldown, every 4 to 5 years, we're just gonna pay you one free semester in college. We're gonna help you out with like, I know, getting back into college, all that stuff can be hard. We're going to give you some social programs that help you get back into college, get your life together and stuff. But mostly we're going to pay every 4 to 5 years, 1 year in college, so that you get a chance to raise your GPA and to get free college, get to have TOPS, which pays you for free college if you have high enough grades, and the cooldown of 4 to 5 years. Like, you get 4 to 5 years to learn from your mistakes, then you get a second chance. I think that's a lot better than just communism. Then you get to be out on the streets and learn your lesson just 4 years later, except you still never get to pull anything from that lesson. But yeah, classes that we teach right now are retarded. We teach, yeah, let's just force people to learn a second language. How about a third language? Why the fuck are you teaching people that? Firstly, you never know what country they might want to go to. Like, they might want to go to some country. How do you know that the language you learned was the right language? How do you know they're gonna want to move to specifically the countries that involve the languages that they were taught? It's like, maybe you should wait till you have in mind what fucking country you want to go to, and then you learn the language. Learn it on Duolingo. It's not that hard. Like, I used to play Minecraft and like on Hypixel back when, like, I went to France for a year, and like, I guess with that time zone, most of the people on there at some point were just speaking Dutch. So I got Duolingo, and within like, I don't know, like 2 to 4 weeks of just doing it, less than an hour a day, I was like pretty fluent. And it's like, yeah, just if you want to learn a language, just learn it on Duolingo and wait till you actually know where you want to go, because most people, they never leave their fucking hometown, actually. So, yeah, and also, if you're going to learn, for example, a language, that's just another example of them teaching stupid ass shit in school. How about we actually learn languages that are relevant here, such as sign language? Someday you can't just learn to speak English if you want to communicate with people. No, these people are deaf. They can. How about we learn sign language? That's actually something that could help us. Because, yeah, I've heard the argument in favor of teaching people foreign languages. Like, oh yeah, it helps with your brain development. Same thing with learning a musical instrument. And it's like, look at the amount of time we devote every day to having like a whole class dedicated to that, like an hour a day. And it's like, don't you think we could develop our brains more with something else? How about a coding language? Since coding is so relevant these days, or we learn that instead of a foreign fucking language. So our school system's completely retarded. Just straight up fucking insane.
Some kids, when I was in public high school, in senior year, were still taking algebra, and some kids were taking advanced AP Calc 3-4.
Doesn't matter. Put them all in the same classroom.
How could they?
Calc 3-4. There was no such thing as Calculus 4. There was Calculus 3, which is multivariable in vector calculus. And then there are differential and partial differential equations, which that's, I mean, that's based on calculus, but that's differential equations. Like, that's a different thing. Like, again, I did do all of that back in high school. Most places, like some places, apparently they offer calculus 3 in high school. It's pretty rare. I just did calculus 2 in high school. That was really fucking, dude, my situation was very weird, okay? Let me tell you. In my final year of high school, I was taking 3 different math classes. So I would go to calculus 2, and then 2 periods later I would go to my pre-calculus class. So I was actually dabbling up, taking pre-calculus and calculus 2. I had already taken the thing for calculus because, yeah, I needed a 4th math thing. They made me take like one other math course. And calculus 2, since it was an advanced placement class, that was a dual enrollment class, more or less. It was like one of these dual enrollment classes that was offered like in the high school, but it didn't really count as a high school math credit. So I had to take pre-calculus because, to be honest, I'd never learned trigonometry, and I was like, maybe that's an important thing. And then I like went over to college, like I took the bus, went to college, and took my linear algebra dual enrollment class. That's like, that was pretty fucking fire, but
Maybe in the same class, that makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense.
Okay, no.
Dude, let me just hear him again say, bro, I saw some people taking calculus 4.
Sure. I mean, some kids, when I was in public high school,
dude, really,
in senior year, were still taking algebra, and some kids were taking advanced AP Calc 3-4.
Doesn't matter. Put them all in the same classroom.
How could they be in the same class? That makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense.
Okay, no. Be honest with what you're doing. You're saying I want to.
Yeah, to be fair, my mother's a French immersion teacher at a kindergarten, and they do that a lot. They actually, like, they will go and storm into the room and just take the keys, open the cabinets, and make sure that all of the stuff is like that there are no books that aren't just the curriculum books. Like they are super just insane on that. Like, they don't want anyone to teach anything other than the curriculum. And like, they will storm my mother's classroom to make sure that she's not like teaching them like according to their needs instead of all at the same pace. Oh, well, you don't understand. Okay, well, just come see me after class. Oh, I won't be here after class. Yeah, just go look it up online. Like, if you actually, yeah, just fucking whatever, your problem. Yeah, that's how they want the teachers to roll instead of teaching them at their own pace. But that's not really a Republican thing. Where do you see Republicans all just saying, yeah, we don't want kids to get to learn at their own pace. We just want, like, maybe some Republicans in like high places are making these calls, but most Republicans don't want that. They probably recognize that it's fucking stupid.
Eliminate AP classes, so because I want to protect the feelings of some people.
That's actually 100% correct, and it's even noted in the reporting here. So again, I want to emphasize, students get to decide whether or not they enroll in the honors classes. There's nothing stopping a student of color from enrolling in the class, okay? But here's what they say, okay? So in Santa Monica, California, for instance, the high school English teacher—
Tyranny of extremes.
said last year that they had a moral imperative to eliminate honors English classes that they viewed as perpetuating inequality.
Absurd.
The teachers studied the issue for a year and a half, a district representative said. They say this is not a social experiment. This is according to a board member, John Keene. This is a sound pedagogical approach to education.
Just because you use the word pedagogical doesn't make it sound, okay?
Yeah, to be fair, that is a four-syllable. Actually, I know what it is. I just realized that's a word that is also used in French, and but doesn't that just mean like fucking like educationally speaking or some?
So here's what the school district is saying in Culver City. So school districts doing away with honors classes argue students who don't take those classes from a young age start to see themselves in a different tier and come to think they aren't capable of enrolling.
Well, that's meritocracy. You have to climb your way up, and sometimes you're discouraged. And well, whether you keep going or not, like you have to earn it.
In advanced placement classes that help with college admissions.
Well, they can't enroll if you took them all away. So I guess you solved the problem by nuking them.
So some students don't have the self-esteem, in their words, right, to enroll in these AP classes, these honors classes. And so the only thing to do is to eliminate the classes altogether so the students who want to be challenged with, you know, a more rigorous curriculum don't have that option. How is that smart? How is that a good method?
By the way, I'm really confused because, wait, let me take this. Like I'm halfway through, and it sounds in this video that like they've been saying, yeah, we're criticizing Ron DeSantis for this. That doesn't sound like some Ron DeSantis would do. Ron DeSantis would like take away honors classes because there aren't enough black people in these honors classes. Doesn't sound, I don't know, that sounds sort of out of character. I think she's saying Democrats are doing this, but what does Ron DeSantis have to do with any of this?
In improving education. Let me give you more. So Culver City English teachers presented data at a board meeting last year showing Latino students make up 13% of those in 12th grade advanced placement English, compared with 37% of the student body. Asian students were 34% of AP classes.
Dude, Latinos make up, I don't know, what percentage of the US population do Latinos make up? Like, I don't know, probably like fucking 13%, if even. Like, what do you want to know? Like, I've been to school, most people aren't Latino. Like, they just aren't. So, oh, bro, we don't have a lot of people with, we don't have a lot of amputees in honors. It's like, that's pretty rare. Most classes don't have a lot of amputees in them. It's like, this is discriminating against amputees. Yeah, that's just, yeah, again, like, is this supposed to be a criticism of Ron DeSantis or of someone else? And if it's, so this sounds like some of the Democrats are doing, like, are you just mad at Ron DeSantis for disagreeing with them because he probably doesn't disagree with them from the same perspective you do?
Classes, compared with 10% of students. So Asian students are overrepresented. And then with black students, they represented 14% of AP English versus 15% of the student body. So really—
well, you know what I see here? This isn't, no, I think that's a complete just false way to see it. Asian people represent people represent 34% of that. Other people represent. It doesn't matter if they're Asian. No, Asian people do not represent the Asian. These are all just people. They might have a different shade of color, but you know what color is? Yeah, like in Africa, why do you think black people are black? Well, because Africa is closer to the equator, and over there, ultraviolet radiation from the sun hits you harder, and ultraviolet radiation can be dangerous. In fact, it can cause skin cancer, and well, you might notice that people with darker skin tones, say black people, they are more resilient to skin cancer. They're less likely to get it. They can be out in the sun for longer. It's less dangerous for them. So, being black is really just like human evolution, like diverging us, or like us just evolving to be more, to be what's it called? Yeah, to be more resistant to skin cancer. So, like, if you're going to actually assign like the fucking rule to people, just label them as, oh, you're that person whose like ancestors back then who you have nothing to do with now. Yeah, they were born in a place where the environment just made it just more suitable for them, evolutionarily speaking, to just like move in the gene pool towards towards being more resilient to skin cancer. If you're going to like put that label on someone and act like it represents anybody in any way, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's like the gay people, they represent, how many gay people are there? It's like, who cares? You're gay, like, good food. That doesn't say anything about your character. That doesn't show the contents of your character. It's just some arbitrary trait that you have. It's like, I don't know, how many people do you have who, I don't know, don't have a receding hairline? How many people are there who are bald? How many people are there over there who like to wear a hoodie? It's like, who the fuck cares? Why are you concentrating on this? It doesn't matter. There's a reason why the Republican Party does not want this poison, because it's poison. Tucker Carlson talks about this all the time. Yeah, we don't want this because it's poison. Reducing people to their race instead of the contents of their character is always wrong. It doesn't matter what the race is.
Really, what they're focusing here on is the lack of representation among Latino students in these honors classes.
Yeah.
So how about the educators and the administrators encourage these students to enroll in the classes? What is the issue here?
So I guess if you're Asian, you represent the Asian. Well, you know what? I sort of fucking like, I like watermelon vapes. I think watermelon's pretty fucking dope, dude. I guess I don't represent like myself as a human being. I represent like, you know, the people who think watermelon's pretty dope. The fuck? Retarded.
Yeah. So look, good news, for the first time ever, it's a racial issue and not about blacks and whites. Blacks are almost perfectly represented, and if you do the math on the remaining portion, it appears whites are pretty well.
Doesn't matter. I don't care if every single one of them who is in honors is white. I don't see that as a problem. I don't think it's a problem if every single one of the people in an honors program, say in Arizona, they were all Mexicans. Like, you pull me up the statistics. Hey, look, every single person in the honor program in Arizona, like 90% of them are black. Fucking good for you, dude. It's like, what am I supposed to care? Let's say they're all black. Good for them. It's like, why do you care? Doesn't matter. I think Cenk Uygur, like, is he gonna say I don't care? Probably not, because, well, he's a racist, he's a Democrat, but
well represented. So bad.
Well, again, not all Democrats are racist, but to be fair, the Democratic Party is by far the most openly racist party since the Nazi Party. So
now they're pitting Latinos versus Asians. And by the way, if you're on the left, how does that help? How does that help? I'll tell you what happens if.
Well, it definitely helps the left in the way that like, it definitely continues on the culture wars, which is what the left really wants. CNN, for example, what do you think it did when they used George Floyd as the ammunition they had always wanted to start the next race war? Well, it started the next race war because that's sort of what they wanted. How does it help the left to start the next race war? I don't know. Maybe that's sort of their agenda. That's a part of their agenda. Again, not all people on the left, but the majority of them, they want to have the next race war, and that's why they're gonna keep talking about CRT and what all that type of shit when segregation is in the past. Like, we've moved forward from there. Of course, there's gonna be ripples because wealth goes down generations, and unless you're going to steal this money from like these white people and give it to these black people, which I think that's also wrong because like even if because of your ancestors, because of this wrong thing that we've now corrected and should move forward from, instead of trying to go back to it because it was a bad thing, we don't want to go back to that. Yeah, like we definitely can't just take money away from someone who actually worked their whole life trying to get that money for their kids because some black kid who's poorer, well, they deserve rich parents who care about their children as much as the children of these people who like are going to get a lot more, maybe because they were white. It's like you can't really take money away from someone who's earned that money for their children to give their children the best lives they want, just because another child deserves just as loving and caring parents who are just as rich when they can't have that because they're a different race. Because that's not your money to take. That's not your money to take. People have every right to care about their kids more than some other kid, even if some other kid deserves it just as much as they do, because it's their money and it's their lives. And damn right they're gonna care about their kids more than some other kid because, again, the same thing with why do nationalists exist? We tend to be able to empathize more and care more about those closer to us.
If you take away AP classes, for every Asian parent will be furious, okay?
Yeah, they already are at Harvard because, Harvard's sort of doing the same thing. Like, they are, really limiting the amount of Asian people who are allowed to be there. And it's like, dude, I feel really bad for Asians because, it's sort of apparently the reason why Asians tend to do better, in academically speaking, is that it's sort of in their culture a lot of the time just be really hardworking, and hard work pays off. That's why in a meritocracy like the United States, you would see a lot more Asians, say in Harvard. Is that the result of white supremacy? Asians really? Yeah, fucking Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor happened, but guess what? Now there are so many Asian people in Harvard that since they are Democrats and they are fucking racist, they aren't going to be like, oh well, I guess. I mean, why should I look at their skin color? I should look at, do they merit being over here? Did they earn it? What are their grades? Let's pick on merit. They're like, oh, so many Asians here. Like, we gotta get rid of that because diversity. Yeah, reducing people to the core of their skin is always wrong.
And who will they be furious at? Well, you'll tell them it's because Latino students didn't have enough representation in these schools, so we took them away from all of the students. So, well, they'll be furious.
How many fucking Latinos even are there?
At Latinos. But the Latinos didn't even...
No, they aren't, because people are smarter than that, especially Asian people. I'm just kidding, but if you're going to take the people who would be educated and want to get into these advanced placement classes, I think it's. I mean, to be fair, it's not like it's not like our school system's education actually teaches us to be smarter. They just try to teach us every single thing you could ever never ever fucking need again once you graduate. There's a reason why if you're in high school and one day you just have a substitute teacher who's legit just like fucking 3 years older than you because like they just graduated, and like you ask them for help on something, you're like, oh dude, I don't really know, but they're just gonna tell you most likely, dude, honey, I haven't been to school for like I haven't taken this class in like 3 to 4 years. It's like I don't remember any of that. Well, guess what? If you don't use it, you lose it. But yeah, I'd imagine people who have some level of intelligence are not going to blame this on Latinos because Latinos are not responsible for this decision. Uh, just like I am white and I am not responsible for George Floyd's murder, and no police officer other than Derek Chauvin and whatever bystander police officers there were there is responsible for George Floyd's murder. Yet I'm sure that back when that happened, you pushed the discrimination against police officers who were just your average person just like you who also needs a job. And who knows, they just had to take a job and they found the job of police officers. I don't know, were you discriminating against them back then? Were you one of the people saying, oh, well, the racist cops is such a problem, we need to take care of that? When, yeah, America's just a pretty big ass country, and in such a big country, you're going to find a lot of people. And yeah, you can find anecdotes of anything. I'm sure some police officers are racist because I'm sure some people are racist. In America, there are some racists, just like there are some flat earthers. There's probably more flat earthers than racists, but both of them exist. So yeah, like we could find this police officer who is racist. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but after George Floyd's murder, I'm I'm pretty sure there was a spike in police suicide. Police officers would commit suicide more because imagine having to see just such a horrible, just yeah, having to see just a video that just fucking sickens you. Such a sickening, just horrible video. George Floyd's murder. Just feeling so bad for that guy, being disgusted by it. And then the next thing you know, everyone, not only do you have to, oh yeah, I saw that and that was gross. Like, I'm pretty disgusted by that. But then you have to have everybody blame you for it on top of that. As if you weren't already disgusted enough by what you saw, then you have to be blamed for it. When you're just as disgusted by what you saw as opposed to any black person. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure Cenk Uygur was involved in this targeted, like, campaign against police officers, so...
Even asked you to take him away. You
Right.
made that up in your head.
Exactly.
Okay, how's the better way to handle it? It's not complicated. You do your job, you reach out to the Latino community, you reach out to Latino students, and you help them. You don't punish others. That's so obvious. Look,
Dude, which party is doing affirmative action? Isn't this supposed to be a criticism of Ron DeSantis? Like, are you criticizing? The only criticism that I've seen you have so far of Ron DeSantis is the criticism that you don't agree with him disagreeing with it, but yet you disagree with it too because that's all this video is. So, do you just disagree with him for agreeing with you and being white? Is that the thing? Like what?
I would argue, and I think anyone who lives in America will tell you, oh, it's kind of true, even if you're not supposed to say it. Asians and Latinos are probably the two hardest working groups in America, okay?
Okay, sure. I mean, don't care. Let's just say that's true. Okay, well, then they should get to climb up the ladders and I mean, Asians, yeah, I've heard like it's sort of in the culture of a lot of these countries which are Asian majority. It's sort of a culture, in the culture to work harder. I don't know anything about the Latino community. I don't, like, Yeah, I'm pretty. If you're talking about Hispanics, I don't even really know what Latino means, to be honest. Isn't that like if you're from Italy, I don't fucking know. Or Latin. That must be if you come from Rome, actually, probably. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Hispanics fear they work hard. Like a lot of them probably were running from the drug cartels in Mexico, and they didn't have the they weren't born with the American dream. They had to earn it by coming over here, and seeing a bunch of people being like, oh, "Yeah, bro, you trying to steal our jobs?" When it's like, no, again, this is a meritocracy. If the immigrants they earn and therefore deserve your job more than you do, they didn't steal your job from you. Maybe you should have just deserved it more than them. But yeah, let's keep going.
So if you've got an incredibly hardworking group like Latinos, and you say, hey, if you work in this direction, you might get a higher income, et cetera, I bet.
Dude, I don't get why he's still doing this race politics again. It's like fucking identity politics. Oh, Latinos are so hard. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of Latinos who are hardworking. Maybe they're even more hardworking than, say, white people on average. Okay, I don't care. Maybe that's true. Oh, doesn't matter what the core is. This is the only response there should be to this is doesn't matter what the race is. Aren't we trying to move away from all that like poison that we used to have, such as like Jim Crow? Aren't we trying to move away from that?
They're super open to that, okay? But instead of doing that hard work, you're like, oh, let me take it away from Asians, let me take it away from everyone else, and make them fight each other. That doesn't help at all.
No, they're only gonna fight one another if they are just like you and just like the people taking that away from them. Which they aren't if they're gonna be mad about it. Because that's the only reason why it's wrong. It's not because, oh well, these Asians, they are just better people than Latinos, and it's like, no bro, fuck the Latinos. No, people who are going to disagree with this are probably not going to be racist because racism is stupid, and if you're stupid, you probably wouldn't disagree with stupid things. That was such a stupid comment I made, but let me just keep going.
Look, and the other thing is, so when I was very young,
there is one simple 20-second morning routine that anyone can use to rapidly rebuild healthy teeth.
I was a very sensitive kid. Like, I love to wallow.
Dude, you very much still are. Let me just tell you that you are very much still a very, very, very oversensitive snowflake. Just so you know.
Self-pity.
Self-pity, yeah. I still see that a lot. Again, I could make a compilation out of that.
Bad self-esteem, all of that.
Well, maybe you should keep that bad self-esteem, actually, because you are the type of person who will, again, not even for having to do it, just for money, as you said. By the way, I made a compilation about this. Yeah, you will tell people who I actually have respect for, like Ben Shapiro, you will lie to them and pretend that you have respect for them and think they're smart. You will literally say, like at the debate at Politicon, I am debating you because I think you have a genuine point of view. You have, you genuinely mean well, you believe what you say, and guess what, for years before then, like up to that debate, she had been saying the exact opposite, that Ben Shapiro was a horrible person, that he was stupid, that he was a puppet for the right wing, that he, yeah, not even smart, just a partisan hack, just a talentless hack. That's her own words. And guess what? After that debate at Politicon, she didn't stop saying that. She kept on going on her same tangent of Ben Shapiro is a talentless hack moron who's just a bad person who does everything for money, doesn't care about morals, he doesn't have a real point of view. And here you were just like a few weeks ago, just back onto Ben Shapiro saying the same thing you had said at Politicon, just cucking up to him and pretending you like him, just so you can get an appearance on his show. And you said yourself, people who do that type of stuff, they're just doing it for money. And yeah, look, I am fucking sort of autistic. I'm a retard. And back when I was in school, people would fucking pretend to care about me. They'd pretend to, like, enjoy being around me and stuff. And, like, well, obviously they didn't really mean that. Obviously, I only had friends in school. I never had any activities outside of school with anybody. But yeah, like, eventually I sort of had to realize these people don't like me. They don't care about me. They're just pretending that to be polite. And it really hurt me. But Anna isn't even doing that to be polite or like, no, she's doing it for money. She is being deceitful for money, just lying to someone's face, telling someone, I respect you, I think you're smart, I have a high opinion of you, I genuinely respect you, I like, we see eye to eye, and that's in fact why I'm debating you, when that's a fucking lie. And then she went on to repeat that fucking lie a few weeks ago. So, yeah, your bad self-esteem, maybe you should keep that when you treat others like this.
That until I came across Miss Robson in 5th grade, okay? Miss Robson had no patience for feeling bad about myself, okay? Like her whole motto was, I can and I will. She had a sign in front.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Robson did not exist and has never existed. Just as a side note, Anna's a pretty big fucking liar,
Of
wouldn't
the
be
classroom.
surprised.
And anytime there was even an inkling of, I don't know if I can do this, she would
To be fair, I take that back. Yeah, I shouldn't sort of be an asshole. I should take people at their word, even if sometimes they lie. I don't know. I don't watch Anna enough. I know she lied about that particular thing, and that really got to me. I really didn't like that. I don't know. If she says that's the case, it's probably true.
physically,
Whatever.
but she would try to smack it out of you, right? No, there's no feeling bad for yourself. You can and you will, you can and you will. Until it was drilled in my head and I started to believe it.
One teacher did that within 1 single year. Must have been an extremely good teacher. Must have been like, one of these people we see in the movies. Like, yeah, that type of teacher, like that football coach and whatever movie that was. I forgot. Dude, whatever.
Educators feeding into the lack of self-esteem that students
And
might.
I feel bad for sort of doing that shit. To be honest, I bash a lot of people for doing that to others. Like, yeah, dude, sort of doubting her on her story. But to be honest, it's like, yeah, I have a pretty good reason to have reservations for her. Like, she went and told someone who I genuinely have respect for, by the way. I disagree with a lot of his, like, ideas. Ben Shapiro, I am very much anti-war, for example. But, yeah, like, you went and told him, I genuinely respect you, and in fact, that's why I'm here trying to have this conversation with you. When no, you were just doing it for money, and you constantly attack people for doing that. And again, I made a compilation of you, and it's like I feel bad because I always want to take people at their word when they say something, but it's like, again, I'm sure even though Anna is a liar, I mean, everybody fucking lies every so often. I don't think lying is inherently wrong. Most of the time when you fucking lie, it's probably because someone just wasn't minding their own business and asked you a question that, like, they shouldn't have been asked you in the first place. And, like, such a question, they get probably a fucking yes or no question, where if you answer anything other than the lie, like, the answer is sort of implied. If you say, I'm not gonna answer that, or if you say the truth, you're just, like, that's not something that you should have to fucking answer anyway, and they just invaded your privacy by asking you that, and you sort of had to lie. Most of the time, that's why you lie. I think there's a bunch of legitimate reasons for lying. For example, Tucker Carlson, I don't think it was entirely justified, like the thing with the Dominion slander, but like that's a whole different story. He sort of, if he wanted to keep getting the chance to spread a positive message, he had to appeal to his base, and his base would just brain dead morons who would just like, oh bro, Trump's election was stolen from. No, you cannot disagree with me on that. You have to agree with me on this. And it's like, yeah, Tucker sort of had to go along with it. She does not. You never had to go on Ben Shapiro. You are like, you didn't like him, you didn't respect him, you had zero respect for him. You didn't have to go on there, and if you went on there, you didn't have to play that game of, dude, I really respect you. In fact, that's why I'm on your show. Like, bullshit. If he had just taken a few seconds to just start watching you and what you said about him, he could have just seen that that's entirely bullshit. Like, you could have, like, dude, if I was debating you at Cenk Uygur and they told me, or you told me, dude, I have massive respect for you, I'd just be immediately like, bullshit, no you don't. You don't like me, you don't respect me, and that's okay. We disagree with one another, and we're here to fucking have this disagreement. So at least let's just not play this game of, we really like one another. No, we don't. We don't. So let's stop with the bullshit. Just put that aside and let's get to real stuff. Let's see eye to eye. We don't like each other. Okay? Let's just get that straight. Now let's move on. No, I wouldn't fucking say, oh yeah, I really love you and respect you too, right? It's like, you don't have to say that. You don't even have to mention how you feel about one another, because that's not relevant in a political debate, because feelings and personal, like, all of that stuff, like, all of that type of stuff has no fucking place in a debate. So how you feel about one another, that's just an additional thing. You didn't even have to mention that. You sort of just did it to cut the band's audience. And, yeah, but whatever.
Feeling. And indulging in that is not helpful, okay? They should give them the self-esteem to be able to challenge themselves and do so confidently.
Yeah, sign up for a TYT membership so you can get those fucking cancerous emotes. That shit right here. Hassan Abi is here for some reason. I've never seen him on. Yeah, apparently Cenk Uygur is Hassan Abi's uncle. Like, I'd never known that, but yeah, I don't really watch Hassan Abi. I'm pretty sure he's probably about a Cenk Uygur clone, probably. But
challenge themselves and do so
yeah, I'm pretty sure Hassan Abi is less of a dipshit than Cenk.
confidently.
I
just think there's so much indulgence, like so much like, oh my gosh, like let's wrap the children in bubble wrap because they feel bad about themselves. No, help them see the light and help them build the confidence that they need to move forward in life. What are we doing?
Yeah, I remember when I came in as a young immigrant, I started at the lowest reading level, right? If we went with this new approach, they'd be like, okay, that's it, stop all the higher level reading levels. No.
Yeah, to be fair, when I arrived here, yeah, I arrived in second grade. Like, I was supposed to go up to third grade, but dude, I was so fucking mad about that. They put me back in second grade, and I had just finished second grade because, like, in France you sort of start school earlier. So yeah, I was 6. I was supposed to go on to third grade, and I had also skipped a grade. I had skipped first grade. Because I don't know, I just knew most of the stuff over there because my mother was a teacher and I was always very interested in learning anything. But yeah, when I went over there and went in second grade, I was really mad about that. But I went in ESL. It's a program, English is a second language. That's what ESL stands for. I don't know if anyone's pushing to, like, abolish ESL. That's sort of what I went in when I arrived. I went in this English as a second language. I stayed in it for like a year, and then I was on to regular third grade.
Well, because Cenk's discouraged. He's a young immigrant, doesn't know English yet. He's super discouraged. Don't.
Dude, you could also use Duolingo, by the way. You could do that.
Oh, but we don't want him discouraged. Wrap him in bubble wrap. No, what happened was I worked hard. Mrs. Rosenberg in 4th grade believed in me and moved me up to the highest reading level. I've told the story before, and I love her for it. Okay, that's how it's supposed to go. If you have faith in the students, you teach the students the right things, etc. And what if they had said,
like, I was very afraid that I would have nothing to disagree with them on there, but I have some to disagree with them on. Teach the students the right things. Okay, maybe then don't teach them history. Don't teach them English once they reach middle school, and you'd imagine if they're able to follow a regular curriculum, if they don't belong in special ed, they probably already know how to speak their own fucking native language. So yeah, like once you reach middle school, just remove English, and whoever still fucking needs that, whoever might still need that, just put them in special ed, because that's clearly where they belong. And no, in English you don't learn anything that would be relevant. It's not like you learn, I don't know, what type of uh, things that might fall under the subject of English might still be relevant for, say, high school students to learn. I don't know, maybe new vocabulary words. Maybe try getting them to find like some vocabulary words that are like pretty common that people tend not to know. And no, we wouldn't be learning English in the context of let's learn more vocabulary words. We wouldn't be teaching like learning it in the context of, well, let's learn how to write a better like I don't know, a better essay, or a better like sometimes we'd write write essays. We'd be taught to make them into certain format. Let's do MLA format. Let's do, and it's like we have not learned anything in high school, like at a high school level English course. We've never learned anything that hadn't already been taught in middle school. Just we just went back over it and maybe went a bit more in depth. But like fictional fucking novels, as if that's going to help you. Yeah, just read fucking, yeah. Why don't you just watch porn? That's probably gonna be more helpful to you than reading a fucking fiction novel. It's like, again, all that stuff, you can have it as a hobby of reading fictional books. You can have that as a hobby, but it's not gonna help you in any way, because that's not the reality we fucking live in. It's not like, I don't know, let's learn history because, well, what if then like you have a conversation with people and like you're the only one who doesn't know about it, and it's like you're sort of gonna look dumb. Like that's sort of an argument I hear a lot about history, like from my mother and stuff, when I tell her history's fucking stupid. Yeah, well, from that well, let's just learn some dead language like Egyptian, or actually I don't yeah, let's just learn Latin in school, because like I don't know, like what if everybody was sort of taught Latin, and like you just didn't learn it. It's like if we had some useless, some other than history, like Latin, and like everybody learned it, like if you lived in that world and you just didn't know it, it's like you'd sort of look stupid because you'd be the only one who doesn't know how to speak fucking Latin. And it's like, yeah, maybe if we just didn't teach history at all, there wouldn't be this problem of, well, what if the conversation comes up and you don't know it? And it's like, yeah, it's not something important. Again, if you want to have that as a hobby, learning history, learning another language, it's like, that's not things that are gonna be relevant to your like getting to be prepared for adulthood, for the adult life, and like all of that stuff, like I don't know, Pokemon cards, brands of cars, football, like you shouldn't be learning about any of that in school because it's not actually important. It's just a hobby. It's not skills you need to learn.
Okay, you know what? We're taking away all AP classes, all honors classes. And you, Cenk, you're a Muslim Turkish immigrant to this country. You're not allowed to go in them anymore. Wait, why am I being punished? I'm also a person of color.
Dude, this is pretty funny because it sounds like he's about to go on the tangent of race politics bad, which, yeah, I completely agree that identity politics is bad. But he doesn't agree with that. But I don't know. It sort of sounds from what he's saying that he's about to go on that tangent. I'm curious to see where he goes.
Why don't
with
I get to go in those classes? No, it's hurting the feelings of some people. So we wrapped all of you in bubble wrap, and none of you are allowed to advance.
who's doing that? Is that Ron DeSantis? Like, dude, you started out this segment by saying, yeah, this is why I bothered watching this whole fucking video, cunt. It's like, dude, you fucking tell me that Ron DeSantis is trying to take away honors classes because there aren't enough Latinos uh, as opposed to Asian people in them. Like, you're fucking telling me that Ron DeSantis is concerned about like too little fucking Latinos or some other minority group. Yeah, the thing with the right is they don't care about yeah, the levels of people from such and such race. No, we on the right, we don't see people from the lens of the color of their skin. We don't see the population of a school as, oh, well, it's I don't know, X% white, Y% Asian, Z% black, etc. No, we see them as there's a school with people in them. Yeah, some of them are Asian. Yeah, okay. Some of them also, you know, wear long sleeves when some of them wear short sleeves. Like that's also a thing. Yeah, what's the short sleeve versus long sleeve population? Let's just look at that. Oh, we gotta do something about that. No, you don't, because it's not relevant. So how about you don't concentrate on it, and you won't be seeing any potential problems that you may need to fix because it doesn't fucking matter. So if you don't look at it, there won't be any problems to fix because you're not gonna be fucking looking at it, so you're not gonna see any problems. Because it doesn't matter anyway, so there shouldn't be any problems with it to begin with because it's not a problem, because it's not relevant to anything where your skin color is.
It's beyond crazy. So there they
What was
are.
he talking about?
Oh, it's hurting the feelings of some people. So we wrapped all of you in bubble wrap, and none of you are allowed to advance. It's beyond crazy. So there they are, the right wing in Florida going, if you're teaching real things, we don't like it, we want propaganda instead. Tomorrow we'll probably share a story for you guys where they're now trying to put in like Christian themed testing instead. Pure propaganda will.
Christian themed? Religion is abolished from the state. They aren't allowed to teach that in public schools, by the way. Like, in case you didn't know about this, yeah, you're not allowed to put Christianity or any religion into public
Will
school.
not give the kids actual education. And then we got California going, yes, but we don't want education that's too good. Instead, let's make it racial and have everybody fight one another.
Oh, so basically, like, this wasn't about Ron DeSantis at all. You just use Ron DeSantis in your opening and closing line because that's like the guy you really hate. But like this whole thing was really about California, like being dumb. Okay, California's being stupid. I heard that apparently even Democrats don't really like Gavin Newsom. They think that yeah, they need a better person. So apparently Gavin Newsom isn't even that popular with Democrats. So it's like, who's even arguing in favor of Gavin Newsom? Of course the Republicans hate him, and apparently the Democrats don't even like him too much as well. So, like, I don't know, I wonder why he's not being, like, talked about as, like, oh, well, we need an alternative to Joe Biden. It's like they're already working on that on the right. Like this Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, dude. Everybody on the left is talking about how, yeah, we need a new person to replace Joe Biden. And I don't see why that can't just be Bernie Sanders. Again, just keep in mind that they stole the election from Bernie Sanders. Shut up, racist. No, it's true. They stole the election from Bernie Sanders because they knew that if Bernie Sanders was going to be president, they would, like, Bernie Sanders would sort of just expose their fucking scam, and they would be fucked. So yeah, they organized an attack on Bernie Sanders, the person who was supposed to be one of the biggest, yeah, one of the main candidates who was running up against Joe Biden, who was definitely going to be taking some of Joe Biden's votes in the primaries. He dropped out of the race and endorsed Joe Biden so that he wouldn't be like dividing the vote more like away from Joe Biden, so that it could be like just Joe Biden versus Bernie Sanders. And they all just endorse Joe. So yeah, maybe make it Bernie Sanders. But why do you think that Gavin Newsom isn't being discussed as a potential new candidate? Because apparently he fucking sucks. I don't know anything about him, but I know that both the left and the right apparently don't like him. The Humanist Report, I don't think he likes him. As Secular Talk, I don't think he likes him either. And Fox News doesn't like him, so there you go. California bad. Are you like saying anything that that anybody disagrees with? Or like California bad, okay. Gavin Newsom bad. Yeah, pretty much everybody who I've heard like criticizing him, it is pretty much just saying, oh yeah, he's super hot, but he shouldn't be in politics. Doesn't really sound like someone who, like, I don't know, you're sort of beating a dead horse if that's what most people think of him.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate.
Yeah, great, the young turds, yeah, Cenk Uygur's a moron.